Hello students, myself Priyanka Rai and I welcome you all on my YouTube channel Economics at Your Home by Priyanka Rai as well as online class of Green Valley English School. So students, this time I am back with class 7th SST chapter 2nd, that is institutional representation of democracy, that is from political life. So in this video I am going to tell you about what exactly represents democracy. The first chapter we have already studied about democracy, monarchy, hereditary, the rules. So in this video basically we are going to study about the institutional representations of democracy. What are the things which represents democracy? So let us see students. So as you can see, I have written here introduction. Introduction, this is a basic introduction which you are going to study in this chapter. Not in the first video, there are series of videos will come. So in this chapter basically going to study about universal adult franchise, which is the first representation of democracy. Second being election, okay, then third being political parties and fourth coalition government. Okay, so basically there are four representations or four representatives of democracy which you are going to study in this chapter. One by one we will covering all the topics slowly and steadily and will focus that you understand the concept whatever is being taught by me. So beginning with the word democracy, first of all, democracy is derived from two words, demos and kratos. Demos means people, kratos means power, people's power. So what is exactly democracy? First of all students learn the definition, they do the ratification of the definitions, mug up and write the definition. Students, you need to understand what is actually democracy. So democracy is split into two words, demos and kratos. Demos means people, okay, and kratos means power, people's power. So a government which is run by people's power directly or indirectly, it is a system of government where people are involved, they take their own decisions, they choose their representatives. So that is what called democratic form of government, which you have already studied in the first chapter. That is not my concern, but yes, a little introduction was needed, so I gave you all. Now moving ahead, what are actual institutional representation of democracy? So they are as universal adult franchise, elections, political parties and coalition government. We will see each one by one. Let us see what is universal adult franchise. Now see, you can see a picture, it's a good picture. I've just taken, I got the snaps I've just taken. You can see leaders here, the political leaders, those who played a vital role in India, in making India free from other nation, free from the control of other nation. So universal adult franchise. While women in countries like Britain had to fight for their voting rights till 1930s and get it in 1930s, they fight it for their voting rights till 1930s and they finally get it in 1930s. What our leaders do? The Congress party, that time basically the emerging party was Congress party, the leaders were basically Congress leaders. They pushed for voting rights for all the citizens from the very first general election. General election, this term is new, I know, I will be clearing this term also to you all. What is actually election, what is general election, this all you will come to know in this video. So first of all you just understand the term universal adult franchise and from where this universal adult franchise come. Franchise, the word is franchise which means matadhikar. Okay, so franchise means right to vote. Okay, now universal adult, how universal adult? Adult are those who has attained the age of 18. Universal means applying to all. So that is why it is termed as universal adult franchise. That means the right to vote by the citizens who have attained the age of 18. Basically they have attained the age of 18 and they can cast their vote irrespective of their creed, color, religion, sex, race, etc. So that is universal adult franchise. Mat adhikar, sabka mat adhikar, okay, har yuva ka mat adhikar, universal adult franchise. Let us see. Now just see this, as I told you all, the same is given here in points. The people of a democratic country elect their own representatives directly. Okay, we are not living in a monarchy system. Our nation is not following a monarchy system. No monarchy system exists. It is a democratic system of government. So where we people vote and choose our representatives. So our representatives are chosen by us directly. Directly, what is directly means we cast our vote. Franchise is essential for the protection of human rights. Human rights means manav adhikar. So in order to protect human rights, franchise is necessary, it's inevitable, because human rights will be denied if he is not granting franchise. Franchise means एक मत अधिकार मिलना चाहिए हर मानव को, हर मानव का अधिकार है मत अधिकार. So that should be given to the person. Any citizen in India who has completed 18 years of age or attained 18 years of age can exercise vote. That means any person who have attained 18 years of age, okay, is above 18, is now give his vote, irrespective or regardless of his or her caste. No matter he is Dalit, no matter he is Meher, no matter he is Pandit, no matter he is Mishra, whatever caste, that person can cast his vote. Creed, religion, race, white, non-white, there is nothing such. Okay, a person can cast his vote. Community, whatsoever community he belongs, language and region. No matter he belongs to Tamil Nadu, no matter he belongs to Chennai region, no matter he belongs to Maharashtra region, every person has right to cast his vote. Now telling you about a situation. There was a situation in Britain. They were male landowners. Now who were these male landowners? They were having the right to vote. Basically what happens earlier, now the term which you are saying universal adult franchise is basically needed. It was a need of an hour that time that this term is introduced, and people are introduced to this term. Earlier what happened in Britain, there were male landowners and they only cast their votes. Why they only cast their votes? Because it was supposed to be believed, there was a faith by the Protestants, they considered that these people are enough to run the government, means they are enough to run the government. But ultimately what happened, that later universal male adult franchise comes. Basically that means in 19th century what happened, the male community comes forward that now males can vote. Then the scenario changes by 19th and 20th century. What happened, that females also rose up. So likewise feel of universal adult franchise was felt and it was introduced. So students, hopefully now you can understand the concept of universal adult franchise, why it is needed and why it was introduced. So I told you all that in a country now people can cast their vote, they can choose their representatives directly. Okay, election is held, people's vote, they cast their vote irrespective of their caste, creed, religion. The only thing which is needed, that person must have attained his age. That age is 18 years in our country. 18 साल. Earlier it was 21 years, but later it was brought to 18 years. So just remember this. Next. Now universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise, all the citizens above the age of 18 years, I told you, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, sex, okay, color, race, can cast their vote and they have right to vote. उनके पास मत अधिकार है, चाहे वो गोरे हैं, काले हैं, किसी भी कास्ट के हैं, शेड्यूल कास्ट, शेड्यूल ट्राइब्स, गर्ल, लेडी, women, man, okay, whatsoever, किसी भी रीजन से बिलोंग करते हैं, पंजाब, महाराष्ट्र, यूपी, whatsoever, they have the right to cast their vote if they have attained the age of 18 years. 18 years is compulsion in our country to cast the vote. Then only you can have a voter card. Okay, there's a card, voter ID card is there. Okay, Aadhaar is there. Aadhaar you can make is even given if you have not attained the age of 18 also. But during when you go to cast your vote, so basically you need some identity. For identity you need something. So basically Aadhaar card is used and voter ID cards. These all things are used. That is later. We will discuss later. So universal adult franchise is also known as universal adult suffrage. Yes, it is also known as universal adult suffrage. Remember the term. If it is asked by you all later in your life or in any competitive exams or even in this exams, that what is universal adult suffrage, don't get confused. Universal adult suffrage is same as universal adult franchise. Okay, the definition is same because the term is same. It is another name of universal adult franchise. Okay. Now universal adult franchise establishes and ensures political equality. Okay. Samajik ekta, political equality is necessary, otherwise every day some riots will take place, everywhere chaos and confusions will be there. So it will, the scenario will be quite different what you are seeing right now. So just not to bring that scenario or not to have people suffered, this was needed, universal adult franchise, so that it establishes and ensures the political equality, the political security, the political equality should prevail. Okay, next, it secures a truly democratic government. Now, it secures a truly democratic government and makes the government accountable to the people. So, it secures a truly democratic government. If we are studying about that our country is having a democratic government, a democratic system, so basically this is needed. Universal adult franchise is needed in order to be called India as democratic nation. Okay, hopefully this is clear to you all. Then moving ahead. Now, though it is not given in your book that what is merit and what is demerit, but although I will be discussing the merits and demerits with you all. What are the merits? Merit is it promotes equality, national unity, and based on political equality. First of all, it promotes political equality. Secondly, it promotes national unity, and third, political awakening. How political equality? I told you all that a political feeling should be developed, that we all are equal. On political ground, we all are equal. We have freedom to cast our vote to any of the parties we wish. Then promotes national unity. It develops the feeling of national integration. Okay, the feeling of oneness is developed there when people cast their vote, because all have been given right to cast their vote. There is no such thing that only whites can cast their votes, non-whites can't cast, or general caste can cast their votes, scheduled caste can't cast. So if it would have been there, you can imagine a situation, how terrible would be the situation. So somewhere this national feeling that we all are one, we all are Indian, this feeling plays a very vital role in this. Okay. Third, political awakening. Somewhere a political awakening comes in the mind. People are aware of the political things. Okay, they comes to know. The system rouses political awakening among all the citizens. They are in a position to safeguard their rights and freedoms. Somewhere they have this feeling that if they are going to choose their leaders, their rights and their freedoms are protected. They are going to choose the leader, they are going to choose the government. So this is going to secure their rights and freedoms. So this develops a sense of responsibility among them. Now watch, you know that everything has pros and cons. This was the pros, this was the positive aspect, but there is negative aspects too. So I will be discussing negative aspects too. Now what can be the negative aspects? Can you imagine what can be the negative aspects? Yes, the negative aspects can be selling of votes. It may happen that the poor people can sell their votes just for the sake of money. They are not having money. So what they will do, वो क्या करेंगे, अपने वोट को बेच देंगे, कुछ पैसों के लिए, चंद पैसों के लिए वो अपने वोट को बेच देंगे. They can sell their votes. Illiterate people, they are not knowing about the political parties. Just they have the notion in their mind, this party is good. क्यों? क्योंकि उन्होंने सुना है. They have heard from the people, this party is good, so they cast their vote to them. So there are demerits. First of all, illiterate. So what is that? Illiterate persons are not able to exercise their right to vote properly. So this right should be given only to the educated citizens. Somewhere this feeling comes that this right should be given only to the educated citizens, because educated citizens know to whom we are supposed to cast the vote. हम अपना वोट किसको दे, मेरे वोट की importance क्या है, what is the importance of my vote, only can be realized by the educated citizens. जो educated नहीं है वो कभी इसका महत्व नहीं समझ सकते. They will always or somewhere cast the wrong vote. Why? Because they kept on hearing whatever is being told to them. They rely on that. They don't see the things. They don't see the scenario. They don't try to judge. So they just cast their vote to them. Second thing, as I told you all, poor. Yes, but obvious poor people, as they are poor, someone comes to them, give me vote, I am giving you 1,000 rupees. Just for the sake of 100,000 rupees, they will sell their votes. So this is again yet another demerit of universal adult franchise. Third, very expensive system. Our election system is really very expensive. The system is very expensive. Okay, large number of arrangements are needed while this elections takes place, while the voting takes place. So this was the merits and demerits, students, though it is not given in your textbook, but I thought that you should know, if you are studying universal adult franchise, what are its positive aspects, what are its negative aspects, as it relates to the base. This will prepare your base regarding the topic. So that is why I have mentioned here. Now elections. You all have heard the term election. Though you are not eligible to cast vote, you cannot participate in election because you have not attained the age of 18 years, but you should know one day you will attain the age and one day you will cast the vote. So what is election? Election is a process or mechanism. Remember the word, election is a process or a mechanism in which people cast their vote. Okay, people choose their representatives, people choose their leaders. तो इलेक्शन क्या है? सिंपल सा प्रोसेस है, एक मैकेनिज्म है जहाँ पे लोग अपना मत अधिकार यूज़ करके अपना मत देते हैं और अपने लीडर को चूज़ करते हैं. दे चूज़ देयर लीडर्स. Now in India, elections are held in every 5 years. Now, the key term is hidden here, general election. Okay, general election. If someone asks you all what is general election, though it is not mentioned specifically somewhere, but I am bringing it to your notice through this video, that in India elections are held in 5 years. Every country has their own term and tenures of holding elections. In India it is held at every 5 years, termed as general election. क्या कहते हैं इसको? General election. Now election commission is responsible for conducting free and fair elections. The election commission is responsible for conducting free and fair elections. Nirvachan Ayog. Election commission means Nirvachan Ayog. This election commission, they are what? They are the body. Okay, they are the body which who looks after the all the conducts related to elections till the elections results are declared. Starting from the campaigning, starting from the casting of vote till the results are declared, they look after all the things. So this is seen by the body or representative known as election commission. In Hindi basically it is known as Nirvachan Ayog. Now election commission is a 3-member body, one being chief election commissioner and 2 are the other election commissioners. I will be telling you all that who is right now the election commissioner, and basically I will be showing you the image also, and other 2 election commissioners who is assisting the chief election commissioner. So this was all about elections. Furthermore is there, let us move ahead. Okay, election commission also announces the date. As I told you all, now all the things starting from the elections to the results, everything which whatsoever is in the pipeline is in the hand of election commission. वो किसके हाथ में है? Election commission. Election commission is a body which looks after all the things. So this election commission also announces the date of elections, the rules which should be followed by all the political parties. What they do, they prepare a manifesto, they prepare rules, and this should be followed by all the political parties. They cannot abide. वो उसकी अवहेलना नहीं कर सकते. They cannot abide. They have to follow. Okay, because election commission then can question them. And election commission, remember one thing students, is only answerable to the parliament. No other one can question them or take an answer from them. They are only answerable to the parliament. Okay, though it is not given in the book, but you should know. So election commission also announces the dates of election, the rules which should be followed by all the political parties. You will be seeing what is political party. It is yet another topic mentioned in your book. I will be discussing about this also on a broader aspect later. Okay, and the results of the election. At the end of elections, the election commission submits the list of successful candidates. Okay, so at the end of the election commissions, they submit the list of all successful candidates. Election commission also prepares voter list. Voter list is prepared. Whosoever name is there in the voter list is accounted to vote. But it is not necessarily that one has to vote. Listen one thing students, and just keep this in your mind, that a right is given to vote, but it is not compulsory to exercise the right. Means government has not imposed any such compulsion on the people to exercise their right. इसीलिए हमारे सिस्टम में जो वोटिंग परसेंटेज है वो काफ़ी डाउन होता है, बिकॉज एवरी वन इज़ नॉट एक्सरसाइजिंग देयर राइट टू वोट. दे आर नॉट टेंडिंग आउट और गोइंग आउट टू गिव or cast their vote. They are not moving out for the vote. They are sitting at home, lying at their beds, lying at their sofa and enjoying, but they are not casting vote, and rather they make complaint about the government. So this is one of the demerits which is prevailing still in our nation, and it has to be sorted out. It has to be removed, and the voting percentage should increase, but it will increase only when people will be more awakened and more conscious about their rights. That is another thing. Now let us discuss. So election commissions also prepares voter list. Now what do you mean by election? I have already cleared you. Let us see. Election is a mechanism. What is election? It is a mechanism or process in which the people can choose their representatives, where people choose their representatives. That means who is going to represent the government. Okay, basically the person they are going to choose, the leader they are going to choose, who is going to represent their government. at regular intervals and change them if they wish to do so. But if they felt that this leader is not up to the mark, up to the standard and has been chosen wrong, so people can wish to choose them, to remove them, change them. This mechanism is called election. इस mechanism को कहते हैं election. This is called election. Now there are different types of elections, but that I will be discussing in my next video, students. So this I will see later. Basically now let us see who are the election commissioners of our country. As I told you all in this video only, I will be showing you who are the election commissioners of our country. And first of all, who appoints the election commissioner? Do you know? Election commissioners are appointed by the President of India, and right now who is the President of India? Shri Ramnath Kovind. Shri Ramnath Kovind is the President of India, and he has the right to appoint the election commissioners of the country. So who are the election commissioners of the country? Let us see. He is Mr. Sunil Arora. Mr. Sunil Arora is Chief Election Commissioner of India, and the other two being, there are three members as I told you all, Sushil Chandra and Ashok Lavasa. You can see the picture. He is Sushil Chandra and he is Ashok Lavasa. The other two being members of election commissioner. So the Chief Election Commissioner is Sunil Arora. Okay, as you have seen, Sunil Arora, and the other two being Ashok Lavasa. Okay, so basically students, you have seen this Sushil Chandra and Ashok Lavasa. So this was basically about the basic introduction about universal adult franchise and election. In my next video, students, I will be discussing more about the elections. There are many more things which are yet to be discussed with you all about elections, how campaigning starts, or what is the procedure of voting, how the results are declared. This all things I will be including in my next video, as well as the different types of election. Basically, I will tell you that there is a general election, there is by-election, there is mid-term election. So this all three terms, remember the terms, I will be discussing it in my next video. So go through this video and try to understand the concept. I have tried my level best to make you all understand what is actually institutional representation of democracy. I have given you the basic introduction of the chapter in this video. I have tried to relate you with the term franchise, universal adult franchise, its meaning, its merits, its demerits, what is election, who is election commissioner, who appoints the election commissioner, the President of India. So this all is given in my video, and do not forget to check the description. All the things which I am sharing you through this video will be shared by me in the form of notes in description. So go through the description, students. Okay, take care, bye bye, stay safe, stay at home. Thank you, students.